this is Jamie Magridge coming to you from my craft table today. I'd like to show you how I made this card. It's a clean and simple card. If I didn't put the layer colored paper behind it, it would be a single layer card. But I like the additional colors on it. So let me flip you down and I'll show you what we need to make it. Okay. We're going to be using the Making Christmas Bright stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's found in the holiday catalog on page 7. You can get it as a bundle, and it comes with a punch that punches out the bulb and the little knob for it. You can also get it as a you can make it. We're putting in one SKU for $72.25. You can get the stamp set, the clear block that's needed, all this bright cardstock pack, thick Whisper white cardstock, 3 ink pads, Call Me Clover, Crushed Curry, and Real Red, and Stampin' Dimensionals. You get all of that to make these cards that are pictured here on this page for that one SKU. That's again found on page 7 of the holiday catalog. If you'd like a holiday catalog or a regular catalog, please don't hesitate to send me an email or contact me on my Stampin' Up website, and I will be happy to get those out to you. Make sure you can see those. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, now we're going to be using this stamp set. We're going to be using this stamp right here, which is just the plain bulb. We're going to be using this little bottom knot. We're going to be using this string, and then this sentiment. So all the stamps are from this one set. Then for ink pads, there's quite a few ink pads. We have Pacific Point, we have Real Red, Garden Green, Call Me Clover, Pineapple Punch, and then Memento for the sentiment. Okay, for cards, we have a card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. We have a piece of Whisper White, which is 5 by 3 3/4. And we have a layer. This time I'm using Real Red. This was just a scrap of Midnight Blue that I had on this other one. But Real Red is one of the ink colors, so I thought we'd try using that on this one. And this layer is 5 1/4 by 4. You can use any colors you wish for your we're going to be using some snail adhesive, and this is going to be used quite regular for washing off our ink pads. And this is optional. I used a white gel pen to add the little details on the bulbs, the little brights. Okay, so let's get started stamping. First thing I'm going to stamp is this. It's a little tiny bulbs. If you really look at it, there's little tiny bulbs on there, but I'm going to use it as my string. And most strings on Christmas lights are green, so I chose garden green for this. So I'm going to stamp this with the garden green, ink it up well. I want to stamp it so that the little bulbs are pointing down towards the bottom of the page, and I want it to go across the page towards the top about the third. It's not going to go over the edges, that's fine. So just stamp it down. Lift it up. Very good. We're done with that stamp. Okay, then I'm going to take this little, I just had it on this other block so I wouldn't lose it, the little connector piece that goes on the bulb, and I'm going to stamp that in green as well over the top of each one of these little bulbs. So I'm just going to try to line it up a little bit and stamp it down. You see the bulb through it a little bit, but it just kind of looks like a highlight, so it doesn't really matter. Got all kinds of ink on my block. Must have rocked it. Don't need to tap it that hard. I need to remember to tap it lightly on these ink pads because they're it's soft foam. You tap too hard, you get ink everywhere. Some of them are going to kind of overlap a little bit. That's fine. Did it again. The only problem with that is I have a tendency then to get that ink onto my card because I rock the block when I'm stamping, I rock the block when I'm inking, I rock the block when I'm stamping. And 2 more, 1, 2, okay, let's clean this one off. We're done with this stamp. Put this one back over here with that one. Then we need the bulb. I gotta clean this one. It got dropped and it's full of dog. Alright, so we're done with this green. I'm going to put this one away. And we're going to start with real red. Okay, we're going to ink it up, the bulb. We're going to line it up with this first one as best we can. And stamp. Okay, I'm going to alternate colors, so I've got red, yellow, green, blue, so this one will be red. Again, red, yellow, green, blue, this one will be red. This is the hardest part for me because I don't do this lining up part very well. Red, yellow, green, blue. Okay, so we're done with the red, so we need to clean off the stamp so we can go to the next color, and since it's going to be yellow, we need to make sure it's really good and clean. Put the red away. Get out the yellow. Now you could use the crushed curry, which is one of the colors from that I Want It All bundle thing. You can make it bundle, but I chose this yellow. It's a pretty yellow. It's one of the in colors. Okay, and we're going to stamp the next one with the yellow. And it's alright if the bulbs overlap a little bit. See, especially this one, and I move my paper so it's easier for me to line things up. This one you're not going to see much of, but okay, clean off our stamp, changing colors again. Now we're going to use green, and I didn't want to use the same green that I used for the cord, so I'm using Call Me Clover. It's a little bit lighter, but it's still one of those primary colors, which is why I chose the colors that I did. Dry and clean, which it wasn't. Alright, ink it up. This one's going to be green. This one's going to be green. This one's going to be green. Now you could do them with all blue or all yellow or whatever colors you'd like. Wash off my stamp. Now we're going to do the blue ones. Pacific Point. Alright. Stamp it on. There's one right there. It's kind of overlapping them both. So stamp that one. There's one in here. One, this one's hanging off. I've got a little piece of scrap paper here, so it's going to come out a little bit differently than my first one. Alright, wash that off. Alright, now it's time for the sentiment. Sentiment says, friends make the season shine. Let's see if it will fit on here this way. Yeah, it does. And it kind of fits. There's like a curve in the D and the F. It kind of fits in between these couple of bulbs here. So that's why I chose to stamp it where I did. We're going to use Memento, or you could use one of the colors for it. I just chose to use the black. You could do a black layer behind this as well. Give it a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so we're done with the stamps. We're done with the ink pad. Alright, now we get to put it together. Close this up so I don't get anything wet. With the snail adhesive. You know what? I'm going to add one over here, even though there isn't one there, just because I think it would look better. Well, since I have one hanging off this side, I kind of want to have one hanging off this other side. It's just I probably should have had this cord a little bit over this way more when I stamped it. So we'll just add a bulb where there wasn't one. Oops, that's the wrong green. Wonder if I can fix that. Let's see. It's a crisper green. Stamped crisper than the other green. I'm not so good at this. I'll do it anyway. Okay. Bulb and the blue, because it would be a blue one. Okay. I should have left it alone because it looks a little funky, but that's alright. We'll make it work. Alright, now let's layer these. Need the red layer. Let's adhere this to the red layer with our snail. Oops, upside down. In the middle. I'm going to center it up. It's got a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch all the way around it because it's there's a 1/4 inch difference. Alright. If I turn it over, less likely to smudge ink all over it. Alright, then this is going to get adhered to the front of our card. And again, there's a little bit of a border around it. And there we go, that's our card. Now, I went and took the white pen just to add a little bit of highlights. And it's just, I started with a little dot, and then drew a little bit of a swoop, and then added a couple little dots. They're not all the same. Each one's a little bit different because it's a highlight. And some of them are behind others, so you're not going to see much of it. There we go. And that's our card for today. Now you could embellish it. You could add ribbon on it here maybe, or some greenery or something, but there we go. Well, thank you for joining me at my craft table. Again, my name is Jamie Magrich. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you don't have a demonstrator and would like a catalog sent out to you, please don't hesitate to notify me and I would be happy to do that. Or just play along. I just like to share. Have a great rest of your day.